streaming live for your viewing eye hole pleasure. Streamed a little fuck today because I sort of threw it together. One day I will spring for the premium version of this software so that it's not shitty and thrown together. One day. One day soon. Should I enhance my account security by enabling two-factor authentication?
I have no idea what that means.
Means more than one way to identify yourself. Like, so I have a Blizzard authenticator on my phone, so if I sign into it from a different location, it makes me punch in a code that is synced with their server to prove that I'm myself.
Sounds annoying.
It's annoying, but it's also safe. Because
the fuck are you worried people are gonna steal from you?
My my Heroes of the Storm account is worth in real money, because I've been working on it using the in-game currency that you accumulate by playing. But my account is worth about $100 or more based on the things that I own. So I mean, someone could take it, change my password, and then sell it to a friend for $20, and they'd get $150 worth of product.
Crap.
Your face is crap.
A shitty game,
dude. It's so not. You know what? It's probably because you're such a shitty person.
That's true. Can't argue with that.
You and your John Mayer love. Dude, I'm
not a huge fan. I said this before. I'm not a huge fan. I think it's stupid, and like I think all the people who are like, anti. I think it's just like one of those things where, after
cool.
a while,
it's cool to hate John Mayer. It's cool to hate John Mayer.
Yeah, it's popular to hate John Mayer, and I just think that's fucking lame as shit. Because there's no actual reason to dislike him or his music. I mean, well, I guess he's kind of a douchebag, but
is he? I don't even really know.
That's what I hear, but I don't really know why. All I know is he dated Jennifer Aniston for a little while. That's the only.
Did he really?
That, and he's a stoner. Those are the only two facts I know about John Mayer.
I just don't like the way his voice doesn't seem to match his face.
I think he's got a unique. I actually owned his first album.
Your body was Wonderland. Something.
It was a good song. There's a reason why it was so popular.
I want to run through the halls of my high school. I want to scream at the top of my lungs.
I don't think that was his first album, though.
I don't know what it is. I'm not.
It was. I mean, we're talking about 20 years ago at this point.
Did he really date Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, I think it was only for like 6 months.
I know.
20 years ago.
Taylor Swift.
Or 15 years ago at this point, I guess.
Didn't he date Taylor Swift? Didn't she write a song about him?
I have no idea.
So apparently that Einstein guy got it right. Is that going in regular news?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actual legitimate news. It's kind of like the it's not quite as exciting as the comet thing that we did a while back.
I don't know. It's pretty exciting that the theory of relativity is not a theory anymore.
I think it's still theory, but I haven't heard anybody say change it to the law of relativity yet.
It's the fact of relativity.
Yeah. And that Antonin Scalia story, that when I was just throwing that thing about the comment he made about black students in there, because
Isn't he the one who said that they couldn't, or that they should go to slower schools?
Yeah.
Because they're stupid. Black people. No, shut up. Shut up.
What was that?
An ad. Alright, so now impressive things will be...
God damn. I hate working with this computer. What the fuck is wrong with you, shitty computer?
It's all that porn.
Must be. No, don't go to his Facebook page. You fucking piece of shit. God damn you, you fucking piece of shit. Oh, and now you're just gonna not do it, but I know you want to do it, and you're just waiting to go there. God damn it. Alright, fuck that.
What are you looking for?
There's... I just found this really funny exchange. So there's this lady who I'm Facebook friends with, who's very active on Facebook, and I find her amusing, and she's clearly super liberal. But she posted... Yeah, let me grab that part too, because it's relevant to this, to me posting this. God damn it! It'd be so nice if I could just use a computer. God damn it! Just want to use a computer the way you're supposed to be able to use a computer, and not like as soon as I bring up Google Docs, like anything I perform on my computer, like I do it, and then I have to wait 30 to 45 seconds for the computer to acknowledge that I told it to do something.
Think you need a new computer?
I think I need to be able to do my fucking updates.
Oh, that too.
No, I mean, this computer has been... It was fine for about 5 minutes, and then stopped working. Right. I think we made it through one show before I was like, oh my god.
We did get through one show.
Better. Huh?
We did get through one full show, I think.
This was the last time I updated it all the way. Even when I did restart it, reboot it after it got stuck on that update, it still had to because those were installing updates, right? That I got stuck on, and then when I rebooted it, it still had to update my computer. So I guess actually update the 7 updates that it installed. I don't know. Okay. All right. I guess we're ready to go. I haven't looked through the rest of the list, but I think we should just go ahead and start because it's getting kind of late.
Cake. Have you played Agar.io?
I have no idea what that is.
Agar.io. It's dots. float around. They float around the screen and they eat each other.
Dots float around the screen and eat each other?
You control a single dot, and you direct it around a grid and eat smaller dots. And other people control other dots, and you eat the smaller dots and accumulate mass to the point where you can eat other people's dots. And then you get bigger and bigger and bigger.
So, if your dot is bigger than the other dots, then you get to eat the other dots?
You get to eat the other dots, and your smaller dots move faster than bigger dots, but the bigger dots will eat you.
That sounds super boring.
It's not. It's the most stupid, addictive thing ever. And someone in the chat room agrees with me. Gabriel loves that game. Ha.
You guys are both lame. You guys would have had a lot of fun in the 1980s.
Dude,
that sounds like a 1980s video game.
It looks.
That actually sounds like a 1970s video game.
It looks like
sounds
an
like
Atari
something from
game.
Atari.
It looks like an Atari game, but it's awesome.
Is it an app?
Yeah, I play it whenever I play it whenever I go poop, which is a joke I'm going to make on the show, which is going to start now in just a moment.
That's great. Except I can't see any of my. I can't see Google Docs right now. Oh, there it is. All right.
It's back. Okay. It's back. All right.
I mean, I still need to scroll up to the top, but all right, there we go.
Ready. Okay, you're sure? You're ready to do this?
I think so. I'm as ready as I'm going to get.
As ready as we
nothing
will be.
moves around without me telling it to.
Okay. And, yeah. Okay. The show begins in 5, 4. As soon as I finish pushing all my buttons. 3, 2.
And let's dispel once and for all with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. But I would add this. Let's dispel with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. So here's the bottom line. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is. Does not compute. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come?
I'm not sure which is more impressive. The fact that after a century of looking for evidence of gravitational waves, just this week we were able to use the colliding of two massive black holes more than 1 billion years ago as evidence to prove Einstein's theory of relativity. Or that we've got the technology available in this day and age to build a robot that can make it this far into a campaign for president of our country. The good news is anti-gravity boots are right around the corner. The bad news is that they're not going to be any better than hoverboards. Hey, let's do this. Into the third.
1, 2, ready, go. I hope you keep a picture of me in your mind.
It's February 13th, 2016. Welcome back to the End of the Third podcast, your source for news, nonsense, and entertainment in the Great Northwest. You know, we got through the entire show last week, Bill. That's Bill. I'm Sean. That's Bill.
Hi.
Hey. You know, we got through that entire show last week without once ever mentioning the Super Bowl that was going to happen the next day.
The day before the show, I was like, oh, we need to talk about the Super Bowl. And then about a half hour after the show, I was like, shit, we forgot to talk about the Super Bowl.
Well,
and that's weird. I mean, it actually doesn't, it's not that strange for me because I don't care about football that much. I mean, I managed to catch about most of the second half of the game, but I had to work, so.
That was when all the good stuff happened. It's when Cam Newton threw a tantrum.
Yes.
I enjoyed the shit out of that. You know, I don't hate Cam Newton the way that dude, did you hear about that city of Seattle, the petition that had several thousand signatures on it to ban him from CenturyLink Field because they don't like him? Like there's not actual any reason like he's a criminal or anything. We just don't like him here in Seattle, so he's not. They don't want him to come back. They thought it would be funny if
they just don't want Seattle to have
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah. Well, no, they thought it would be
Carolina.
very funny if the next time Seattle drew the Panthers on the schedule for a home game, that if you just couldn't come.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work that way.
No, it's not. But they really, really hate Cam Newton here in Seattle, and I don't hate him that much.
I'm not sure it's a personal thing. I think they just don't like.
No, there's that, but also they hate his guts because he's pouty and
He celebrates too much.
He just celebrates. He's always dabbing. You know, that little thing he does. It's called the
Tell you what,
dab.
I felt like I just like I said, I just saw half the football game, but boy, did they call a lot of fouls on Denver, and not a single one on, or excuse me, the opposite of that. A lot of fouls on Carolina.
Well, you missed
the
you missed the first half. Aqib Talib got like 35 yards of penalties just on his own. Cornerback for Denver, just on his own in like the first quarter. So they sort of swung it around, and the Panthers were catching a lot of hell in the second half. But whatever, I don't even care. It's fantastic. Yeah. I'm so glad the Broncos won. Katie has a huge crush on Peyton Manning, so it was cute.
I have a huge crush on Peyton.
I know. Well, it's because
he's a funny, likable guy.
He is, and he's going to drink a lot of Budweisers. Drink some Budweisers
and hang out with his family.
Yep, and Von Miller's buying, and it was very cool. So I'm very, very, very proud of him and happy for him. And this will be good for Cam Newton too. As a human being, he will grow. From this.
He needed to be knocked down a peg,
little bit
or two,
little bit.
What is this about the SLC ape?
Oh yeah, no, the Panthers were supposed, according to an orangutan at the Salt Lake City Zoo.
And how did this orangutan say that the Panthers were going to win?
Well, it ate a cardboard cutout in Panthers colors, and then it kissed a papier-mâché Panthers helmet, and it completely ignored the Broncos helmet. So they took that to mean that it was a prediction for the Panthers, and it apparently doesn't know
obviously.
Shit.
I know. I put my money on that.
That orangutan doesn't know shit about football.
Do we know what the actual Vegas numbers were?
I don't remember the actual.
Was anybody really expecting? Because I thought I assumed that that Carolina was pretty much unstoppable. Not quite. I mean, they lost one game during the regular season.
I think they were 4 or 5 point favorites. But no, it wasn't. The Broncos were underdogs, but it wasn't It wasn't supposed to be some sort of landslide.
It wasn't a huge upset.
No.
Just
certainly an upset. Wow. Do enjoy a good underdog victory. So no, it was a good year.
Especially when it's Peyton's last game.
Yeah, it better.
I mean, if you can't go out better than that. So.
I hope he doesn't come back. That was I hope he retires on this high. And
you don't want him to pull a Brett Favre.
I don't want him to keep on
come back 3 more times.
No, I don't want that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to us, Peyton. We love you. Don't do that.
Yeah, go out while you're on top.
So what did you eat? What did you eat for Super Bowl food?
I went over to Champions. You remember Champions? It's a sports bar on Main Street in Moscow.
Oh no, I don't know if I was there. I don't know if I ever went there.
I was excited to get to go through their menu and see what they had. Except when I got there, I ordered a beer and was like, hey, so what kind of you got a menu I could have? He's like, oh no, we got mini pizzas and chicken wings. So I got a mini pizza. Every time I go in there, I wind up leaving pissed off. You know what? Here's a tip for anybody in the Palouse area looking to go enjoy some sports and drink some beer and have some food. Don't go to Champion. It sucks. Drive to Pullman and go to my office.
My office is great. I love that place.
Yeah. If I worked in Pullman, that's where I would have watched the second half.
I threw up there on my 21 run.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I got it all contained. Like, it was in the toilet. Didn't make a mess, but I definitely got sick at my office.
Probably wasn't the first time you got sick from drinking too much, even though it was your 21st birthday.
We don't support.
Oh, we don't. That's right. We don't condone drinking.
No.
We don't condone irresponsible drinking before you're 21.
No, we do not do that.
After you're 21, you can drink as irresponsibly as you want.
Which we do. A lot. Hey, you know what time it is?
Is there some music coming up?
There's some music.
You're gonna be stuck doing it by yourself because that list just crashed my browser.
I told you to open it up forever ago.
I did, and it's been spinning its wheels the entire time.
Well, this week, because it is February, we're still early on in the year. The Hollywood Reporter has released 40 of its most anticipated movies for 2016, and we're going to take a look at some of those.
Or Sean will.
I'm going to take a
along
look
for
at
the ride.
some of them.
I'm gonna be like you listeners out there. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really cool is that because I can do something like this, I can let the listeners follow along with us, and you can't really see.
So
the screen,
even
but
they have a better idea of what's happening.
The viewers and not the listeners. The viewers will be able to see this list much better than you. We're gonna skim through this a little bit to talk about some of the ones that maybe we haven't talked to death already, like freaking Suicide Squad. We don't need to hit that one again. But didn't this one already come out? 13 Hours, The Secret of Benghazi.
Yeah, this is the one that the guy in Seattle dropped his gun and shot the lady sitting in front of him. Did you hear about that?
Dude, huh? What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Last month at some point, some guy was apparently really drunk and was, quote, worried about terrorists. So he was always packing his heat.
Packing heat.
Except he was really drunk and at the theater and supposedly dropped his gun, and it went off and shot a lady in front of him.
Wow.
And then he went home and then decided he probably should, confess that he was the one.
God, I accidentally shot a lady in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, 13 Hours of Benghazi. This has got Jim. The only thing I remember about this is that it's got Jim from The Office in it.
Does it?
And it's a Michael Bay film.
Which means at some point there will be a 360-degree panorama of something beautiful and actiony.
And giant robots.
And explosions.
Okay.
Kung Fu Panda 3. I'm excited about this.
I enjoyed the first one. I haven't seen the second one, but this one looks amusing.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it in the theater, but I'll definitely watch this movie at some point. I love the Kung Fu Panda movies. Lots of fun.
Hail Caesar. It's a new Coen Brothers movie, starring George Clooney, Josh Brolin, Alan Einrich. I don't know how to say that. Ralph Fiennes, Jonah Hill, Scarlett Johansson.
Wow.
And Tilda Swinton and Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
I will see anything that the Coen Brothers make.
Yeah, and they do have a serious crush on Josh Brolin. Works for me because I like Josh Brolin too.
Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah, No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
George Clooney too. I mean, Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
He's just too expensive anymore. You
can't I don't know. It's hard to get. I think the Coen Brothers can get. I think anybody that they approach to do one of their movies is going to be like, hell yes, I'll do it for free.
Probably not George Clooney.
No, okay, not free, but they can. It doesn't matter because they can afford it.
Yeah.
Zoolander 2, the sequel to the 2001. Wow, is that 2001? God,
that was
I'm old.
Long time ago.
I am so fucking old. Yeah, that's exciting.
Owen Wilson still has a crooked nose.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool. This happened. Did you see it?
No, we were kind of tempted to go see it last night, but we were both pretty tired, and we got done with dinner at like 9:30, and there's a 10 o'clock showing. But I don't know. I'd rather do it when I get the energy for it.
Have you got your Deadpool suit?
No.
Oh.
No, am I supposed to get a Deadpool suit?
Well, I thought you were gonna make one.
Did I say that?
Like from a red sheet and some leather.
I think that was a conversation with somebody else. I think you're confusing me. I am a Deadpool fan, and I think I did say that I thought it would be cool if everybody dressed up for the, if I showed up for the movie and everybody was in Deadpool costume.
Yeah, I sort of augmented that conversation a little bit with my imagination.
Zootopia, no idea what this is, but it's animated, and there's the still image of it is anchors for a new show that are animals wearing human clothes. Apparently it's got Jason Bateman in it, and I like him. Oh, it's also got Roland Deschain, Idris Elba in it, and somebody called Jennifer Goodwin, J.K. Simmons, Jenny Slate, and Octavia Spencer. I don't know who any of those people are.
Not interested, really. It
No.
looks like one for the kids.
I believe so.
Batman v Superman. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know
Big
what?
Fat Greek Wedding 2.
I don't think anyone was asking for this. I don't think anyone liked the first
certainly
one.
nobody in our demographic. How about The Jungle Book?
This actually looks pretty kick-ass, honestly.
It's directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah, and who's voices of Christopher Walken, Bill Murray,
Wow.
Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson.
God damn it, he's in everything.
Who? Which one? Idris Elba or
Yeah.
No, Christopher. I'm pretty sure Christopher Walken is the voice of the monkey, King Louis, which is awesome.
That is cool.
I will enjoy this movie. Not so much The Huntsman: Winter's War. Can't Chris Hemsworth just not do anything but Thor? Can't we just relegate him to being Thor and nothing else ever?
Does it just confuse you?
You know, when he goes through a drastic body change like he did for the one movie that he just did, the Moby Dick movie, In the Heart of the Sea.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know, that one that doesn't confuse me very much because he doesn't look like Thor. But when he just looks like this big muscle-bound dickhead in every movie he's in, that does confuse me. Captain America: Civil War, that's happening.
We can't lose our momentum here. The Huntsman: Winter's War.
I did that one already. Just did that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's when you're talking about.
Yes, I'm complaining about Thor.
I got distracted by an alert. Captain America: Civil War.
That is gonna happen.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Then the Snowden movie.
I'm excited.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Eric Snowden. That's cool. Or Edward Snowden.
Third
sorry.
Rock from the Sun kid has really grown up.
Yeah.
Angry Birds movie. You pumped about this?
Not really. I mean, it looks kind of funny.
It's got Jason Sudeikis.
Is there anybody? Oh, it's got Jason Sudeikis. All right, I like
Actually,
Jason
lots of people. It's
Sudeikis
got
and
Jason
Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Danny McBride's funny.
Yeah.
It's got some funny people in it.
Mhm.
I suppose I'll see this probably when it gets to Netflix. Though.
Neighbors 2.
It was funny enough. I enjoyed that. I know you hate Seth Rogen.
I don't hate.
You
Seth
feel
Rogen.
you're on the same bandwagon with Seth Rogen as you are about John Mayer.
I don't hate John Mayer.
So popular to dislike them.
Not that I hate.
That
Seth
harkens
Rogen.
back to a conversation that nobody else was here for.
I don't hate Seth Rogen. I just don't love him.
X-Men Apocalypse.
I am very.
I'll tell you what,
excited
the
about this
trailer when that trailer came on, I think I texted you.
Yeah, you did.
During the Super Bowl.
Enjoyed that.
That one scene when you see Apocalypse grow, and he's like suddenly huge and stomping on somebody.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes. Top secret untitled Lonely Island movie.
What's got Andy Samberg and some other people I don't know.
I'll watch Andy Samberg do stuff.
Yeah, I like his Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
June 10th.
Yeah.
Warcraft. I can't even help being excited about it. I know it's not going to be as good as I want it to be, and I know that everyone is going to hate it, but I can't even wait.
You're doing a good job of managing your expectations.
Yeah.
No, everybody's gonna hate it.
Critics are gonna hate it because
no matter what.
Critics are gonna hate it because it's probably gonna be not a very good movie. It's gonna look pretty, but it's not gonna be a very good movie. And all of the fanboys are gonna hate it
because it's not gonna be as true to it as they want it to be. Because they're gonna try to include shit for the normal people.
Exactly. And
actually, you know what? I'm probably one of the few people who will actually enjoy it because I know a tiny bit about the lore of Warcraft, but not enough to be, an uber nerd and frustrated with the change.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a
about it.
good movie.
So excited about it, and I can't even help it. Finding Dory, June 17th.
It's clearly a Finding Nemo spinoff, but with Ellen DeGeneres, her character getting lost instead of Nemo.
Okay.
Independence Day.
Excited about this. Very excited about this.
The BFG. No idea what that is. Big Friendly Giant.
What?
Okay.
Are you skipping Independence Day?
What?
No.
What are you talking about?
Independence Day
let's not talk about all of them. The Legend of Tarzan. Okay. Interesting. It's got Alexander Skarsgård, who people may recognize from the Bayou. What was that Bayou Vampire show?
The Bayou Vampire Show
With Bill and Suki. What's the name of that fucking show?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
God damn it, that's gonna piss me off. All right, I'll come back to it. Ghostbusters.
This is
Star
the
Trek
girl
Beyond.
Ghostbusters.
Another Bourne, untitled next Bourne chapter.
They're just calling it Jason Bourne, and Matt Damon's doing it again. Thank God.
Dude, he's still pretty freaking ripped. Because he's got to be like 42 or something like that.
Well, he had to.
Suicide Squad, duh.
Yep.
Sully, Tom Hanks, Clint Eastwood directed.
Clint Eastwood is directing Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
No way. Really?
A guy who landed the U.S. Oh, this is the one about. Remember the pilot who landed that airplane in the Hudson River? His nickname was Sully.
Okay.
Bridget Jones's Baby. The Magnificent Seven. Oh wow. Starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, Wagner, somebody.
Peter
Sarsgaard, Haley Bennett, and Matt Bomer. Wow. I had no idea this was coming. I'm excited about that.
Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington work together very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, it's gonna be Training Day, but as a western.
Yeah.
I can get down with that. And then throw Chris Pratt in there. That ought to be awesome. Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Okay.
Not excited about that. The Girl on the Train.
DreamWorks adaptation of Paula Hawkins' bestseller, Girl on the Train. Emily Blunt is in it. That's good for her.
Another. Damn it. Let me scroll.
Another Jack Reacher book.
Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Never Go Back. That was kind of an entertaining movie.
Everyone's excited about this. Doctor Strange, November 4th.
Benedict Cumberbump.
Yeah, Bandersnatch Cumberflap, right? That's right.
Yeah. Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Adaptation of Ben Fountain's best-selling novel about a 19-year-old private who survives a battle in Iraq, which is captured by news cameras. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be good. Fantastic
Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter spinoff.
Eddie Redmayne's in that.
Oh, and we should point out that these are listed in the order that they're coming out throughout the year. So we're at the at the end of November.
Mona.
With Mona, Moana, a Disney animated film about a spirited teenager who sails away on a daring mission to prove herself.
That's cute. The Founder, November 25th. Michael Keaton. Good job, Michael Keaton, still doing stuff.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I'm excited about this.
Yes. And finally,
supposed to have a young Captain Han Solo in it.
Is it really? Oh, he's supposed to cameo in it. That's right. Yeah,
just doing a cameo.
Assassin's Creed, starring Michael Fassbender.
You're so excited. Actually, he does look awesome in that photo.
Like a bad in this movie. Yeah.
I mean, he's a bad motherfucker in every movie. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar damn it, I can't. Peculiar Children.
Eva Green. She hasn't done much lately, has she?
Who's that?
Eva Green. She was the girl in Kingdom of Heaven.
She's in what is the name of that show on HBO? Penny Dreadful. If you've ever watched Penny Dreadful, that's a very entertaining show.
You know, it's coming up on time of the year in a couple of months when I'm going to have to resub to HBO Now, so I'll use that as an opportunity to catch up on all the other things besides Game of Thrones that I haven't seen.
Game of Thrones coming up. They just released a bunch of photos from the upcoming season. I'm excited about that. Passengers, starring Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, and Chris Pratt as a duo, romantic sci-fi drama.
Is that Jennifer Lawrence in that picture?
That is Jay Lawrence.
It does not look like her.
She's usually not a blonde. Set on a spacecraft transporting thousands of people to a distant planet, a single passenger is awakened early due to a malfunction, and not wanting to be alone, he wakes up a second passenger.
That's right. I remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about that. Yeah.
That's
Good
it.
job.
I made it through
Good
the
job,
list.
us. We made it through all 40 of them without
And
getting.
it only crashed my browser once.
And we didn't bog down and get sidetracked.
Yeah, we usually get sidetracked.
But now it's time. It's time to do something serious. Are you ready to be serious? Because I need to find the button. I'm stalling for buttons. Here. Ready? Ready.
Sure.
Why so serious?
So you may have heard, but apparently Einstein's theory of relativity got a good kick in the pants this week. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but people around the world, this from space.com, cheered February 11th. What day was that? Was that Thursday?
2 days ago.
A couple days ago, when scientists announced the first direct detection of gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space-time, whose existence was first proposed by Albert Einstein 100 years ago in 1916. The waves come from two black holes circling each other closer and closer until they finally collide. 1.3 billion years ago this happened. It finally reached Earth.
That's pretty awesome.
Apparently it takes a huge astrological event like that to produce gravitational waves strong enough that we can actually detect them.
Right. Well,
so it's kind of neat.
I mean, it's pretty incredible too that we just happen to be looking at the right place at the right time to see them.
Right? Well, I'm assuming that they were aware that these two black holes were already in the process of merging or something like that. You know?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know, I'm just stoked that finally. I mean, this is real stuff. Like, this is actual. It's not. I mean, it's sure it's still a theory, right? But this is like hard scientific data that we can use to do other stuff, like work on space travel and propulsion and other things to make us go there.
Right. So one of the things it says here is that what's truly monumental about this detection is that it gives humanity the ability to see the universe in a totally new way, according to scientists. The ability to directly detect gravitational waves, which are generated by the acceleration or deceleration of massive objects in space, has been compared to a deaf person suddenly gaining the ability to hear sound.
Exactly.
An entirely new realm of information is now available.
Did you realize it was exactly 100 years ago that Einstein predicted this?
Yeah, he was clearly the Isaac Newton of his age, just theorizing, conceptualizing these things that nobody had even conceived of so far in advance of everybody else, just pushing things to a whole new level. Okay, new window in the universe. I'm scrolling down to try to find something where it says, why we should care as dummies. Relativity. Gravitational waves were first predicted by Einstein in 1916. The famous theory has stood up to all kinds of physical tests, but there are some aspects that scientists haven't been able to study in the real world because they require very extreme circumstances. The extreme warping of space-time, i.e. gravitational waves, is one example of this. Until now, we've only seen warped space-time when it is very calm, as though we had only seen the surface of the ocean on a calm day when it's quite glassy, said Kip Thorne of Caltech, another founding member of the LIGO team. That the LIGO is the facilities that they use to detect it. We had never seen the ocean roiled in a storm, crashing with waves. All that changed on September 14th. So they actually detected it last year in September, but they didn't validate the information until a couple weeks ago. The colliding black holes that produce these gravitational waves created a violent storm in the fabric of space-time. This observation tests that regime beautifully, very strongly, and Einstein comes out with beaming success. But the study of general relativity via gravitational waves is far from over. Questions remain about the nature of the graviton, the particle believed to carry the gravitational force, just like the photon and the particle that carries an electromagnetic force. And scientists have many questions about the inner workings of black holes, which gravitational waves may help illuminate.
They go on here, like if you scroll down, they're speculating about other stuff, like if we were ever lucky enough to have a supernova in our own galaxy or in a nearby one, we'd be able to look at the actual dynamics of what goes on inside a supernova based on what we know about how gravity works and what we're learning about the gravitons and things like that.
Did you just say if we're lucky enough to have a supernova in our solar system?
In our galaxy.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because that sounds like that would be a bad.
Yeah,
thing.
that would probably kill us all immediately. We would all die, immediate and probably fiery deaths.
Yes, I'm sure it would be over very quickly though, which would be nice.
Also, neutron stars, the super dense, burned out stellar corpses. So what's left after a star explodes?
You know, one of the things that I've been wondering about this over the last 2 days, or actually they kind of suggested that this was the announcement we were going to get on like Tuesday. So I've been thinking about it for a few days now. But you remember string theory? Everybody was really into string theory for a few years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they developed string theory because they weren't able to detect gravitational waves.
So they needed an explanation.
So they needed to, come up with a new scheme, a new system that didn't rely on them for explaining the universe. So I'm wondering if this invalidates all of string theory.
I don't know if it necessarily invalidates it, but it might need adjustment now. I don't know. I don't remember enough about string theory in school to tell you whether or not it's invalidated, but certainly with hard evidence like this, it's not just equations and guesswork anymore. So it'll have to the ripples of such an observation. That's why it took a year for them to get it out, or I guess 8 months. Was it 8 months?
Well, they let's see, September till February.
So
it's
yeah,
not 8 months; it's like 5 months.
5 months.
But they had to test it. They have what is it, LISAR? Those stations. They had one it's kind of interesting for me because it's got one in Washington over near Hanford, that nuclear site, and one down in Louisiana.
Oh.
And so they had to detect it at both places, and then they had to check the data against each other to make sure that they're both showing the same information. And I suspect there's probably like a little bit of math involved.
Probably a little bit.
Maybe just slightly complicated, and requires massive computers to
right.
Figure out. But that's great. No, good for them. Still won't be any anti-grav. I'm sorry, I lied earlier. There won't be any anti-grav boots anytime soon.
Probably not. But
since we can barely detect it in the first place.
But it's what they're saying here. Like when our descendants and when they look back on this era, between Einstein and now our 100 years later, our ability to observe that theory, it's an understanding of the fundamental laws of the universe, and that's how we're progressing. This is an important part of that.
Breaking news. Beep, 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 beep. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, he's dead.
Yeah.
Found him this morning at a hunting cabin in Texas, I think it was. You may recall this guy. We talked about him not too long ago. He made some comments about race and black students in college, and it didn't go over too well. Let's see, where I'm scrolling through here trying to find the comments that he made in this article.
Wasn't it?
If you see it, call it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact word.
One of the briefs pointed out that most black students in this country don't come from schools like the University of Texas. They come from lesser schools where they do not feel like they're being pushed ahead in classes that are too fast for them. Yeah, he says he's kind of notorious for saying shitty things and being a bigoted asshole. He's like one of those conservatives that's so conservative it's not even conservative anymore, it's just dick.
it's graduated from conservatism.
This is probably good news for people who don't share those similar feelings. And actually I posted this in here. You could see it. There was somebody. Oh, I should delete her name from this. I wanted to keep her out of it. And her photo. So
oh my God.
this lady that I'm friends with on Facebook reposted this thing where she said, "Ding dong, the witch is dead. Fuck this dude. Good riddance."
Oh my God.
Which is kind of unpleasant.
That's very unpleasant.
He's kind of a dick. He's well known to be kind of a prick, and And in response, this other guy, whose name I should probably also delete, said, "You're unfriended!" Exclamation mark.
Boom.
She said, "Good. The last time I saw you was in 2002, and to be honest, I had to stop following your ignorant posts, and in the process, forgot you were even on the list. So bye, motherfucker. By the way, I also made out with your sister. Peace."
Jesus, who do you follow on Facebook? What's wrong with these people?
She's funny. I really enjoy her antics.
I made out with your sister.
Yeah, it's awesome. I got into a political discussion with somebody at some point, and she and I kind of teamed up on this ignorant asshole, and it was kind of fun. So I friended her after that. But anyway, so this is, you can see that clearly this guy was divisive.
He's not a well-liked person in
he
circles.
was very harshly disliked by a lot of people, and he was, he was tapping into those attitudes when he was helping to determine the way our laws in this country works, which, I don't know about you, but I don't want that to be a part of our justice system. So I don't know if I agree with Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, fuck this dude, good riddance, but hopefully I don't know if the thing that distracted me while we were in the list was an article about whether or not Obama will be able to name a replacement before he leaves office, and it was just an alert, so I couldn't read into it. But apparently the Congress is weighing in. The heads of the Senate are discussing that, and I don't know whether or not we'll be able to get a new Supreme Court justice appointed before he leaves office.
It blows my mind that someone with such obvious racist tendencies can make or can receive such an appointment without everyone just freaking out. How do you get that far in politics and the justice system without people realizing that you're a complete racist cretin?
Well, if the people who are appointing you to this position share your racist conservative views, then I suspect he was appointed by like George W. So,
wow,
or maybe George Senior, one or the other.
Did W appoint lots of justices? I didn't think he got to do that many. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I mean, you only get to do one when somebody dies.
Right, I know. That's what I mean, though. I didn't realize.
I don't know. I know that it was pretty evenly split. There's kind of like, I think there were 4 conservatives, but one of the conservatives was kind of weird. Roberts, I forget his first name, but Roberts, and often goes opposite of the way you might expect him to. So
kind of weird, man.
Well, he's just like he's a confessed conservative, but at the same time he also like he's consistently ruled in favor of universal health care, which is weird. And he like ruled in favor of bans. He ruled against bans on homosexual marriages. So I mean, he's consistently upheld liberal themes, even though he's not inconsistently upheld liberal themes, I guess.
Gotcha.
So one of the things that's been coming up a lot this week that I've noticed is this question over what's going on with the delegates. Have you heard about this? How Hillary Clinton is so far ahead of Bernie Sanders, even though they basically tied in one state, and he won like crazy in the other state.
Yeah,
I don't really
understand.
Still way behind in terms of delegates.
I don't really understand what a superdelegate is.
Okay, so and I thought I'd take this opportunity to explain this.
Yeah.
So
a good education.
There's 2 different kinds of delegates. There's regular delegates, and then there are superdelegates. And superdelegates are elected party members and things like that. So there's 360 of those. And they've already all pledged, because they're members of the Democratic Party, they've already pledged themselves to Hillary because they're members of the Democrats. And Bernie Sanders is a socialist and an independent. So they're going to back up their person. So at the moment, even though Sanders does have a modest lead of 36 to 32 among elected delegates, the from Iowa and New Hampshire, the superdelegates that are from the party officials, she has a 362 to 8 lead among superdelegates. So she's way ahead, but there you need something like, what is it? I think it's about 2,200 delegates in all. So even though she's starting out with this big lead, if he consistently outperforms her in the state caucuses and primaries, then he'll ultimately win. I mean, it's a long way to go from 360 to 2,200.
Right.
So he's got a lot of time still to make it up, but it definitely gives her a head start on him. So does that clear things up?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And I think this week we've got North Carolina coming up.
That'll be fun.
Fun.
That's a sad state right now.
Huh?
That's a sad state right now. Everyone there's sad.
No, wait, South Carolina.
Charlotte.
North Carolina was, I can't remember.
No, Charlotte. They just lost the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying I think the one, I can't remember which one was, one of the primaries already happened in one of the Carolinas, and the other one's happening this week. And then finally, remember how last week I told you don't worry about Zika because you're not having any babies in it right now anyway?
Right.
Well, apparently it's a little
maybe
worse than that. I was wrong. Apparently my scientist, I mean, obviously I'm a doctor, so you should listen to everything I say.
You do look like a doctor.
Yes. But apparently a rare neurological disorder is on the rise in several Latin American countries that are also seeing an outbreak of the Zika virus. This from AP. The World Health Organization said that the UN health body in Geneva, the World Health Organization basically is saying that this Guillain-Barré, I'm not so sure, I doubt I'm pronouncing that right, Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS, can cause temporary paralysis. It's been reported in Brazil, Colombia, El Salvador, Suriname, and Venezuela. The increase in GBS cases is appearing in conjunction with the spread of the Zika virus to 34 countries. Wow, 34 now. There's also increasing cases of microcephaly, a rare condition in which infants are born with abnormally small heads. However, the agency said the cause of the increase in GBS incidence remains unknown, especially as dengue, chikungunya, and Zika viruses have all been circulating simultaneously in America. So I'm not sure they have determined, well, here, the next quote is, while no scientific evidence to date confirms a link between the Zika virus and microcephaly or GBS, the agency pointed out that GBS was also observed during the 2013-2014 Zika virus outbreak in French Polynesia. So there does seem to be a historical link between the two. So maybe you need to worry about temporary paralysis. Doesn't sound too bad, but that would be frightening.
I would rather be temporarily paralyzed than permanently.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I mean,
on a
just scale, like you take a little vacation.
On a scale of paralysis, temporary is better than permanent.
Yes. Absolutely. So maybe worry about it a little bit more but still not too much.
So are we gonna talk about that ridiculous Robo Rubio thing?
Oh yeah. Well, I meant to bring it up, but it's kind of non-news because it came out during the last debate. Governor Chris Christie called out Rubio because he kept saying the same lines over and over again, and basically pointed out, is this guy ready to be president of our country when he can't get through a debate without spewing these 30-second memorized little bits? I mean, that's apparently how he prepares for things, and and he just kept calling him out on it, and
whatever.
It didn't help Christie very much because he dropped out of the race this week after. I think he and Carly Fiorina dropped out after Trump and Kasich took the primary in New Hampshire, and I think Jeb Bush, Cruz, and Rubio all pretty much tied for third. So
whatever.
It's basically down to 5 of them now.
The bottom line is that President Obama knows exactly what he's doing.
systematically changing this country to make us all robots. So,
No,
yeah, I think it hurt Rubio's candidacy a little bit, but it didn't help Christie's at all.
No, it didn't.
So, there you go.
Well, hey, if we're all done being serious, you know what it's time for now.
Not serious?
You're a daydreamer, a sassmouth, and not infrequently a bit of a giggle puss.
It's the brief time during the show that we're mildly serious, even though we're not really serious.
Not really. Hey, you know what you shouldn't do in Michigan?
I'm guessing from the headline here, anal sex. Yeah, don't worry. Go ahead and drink the water. The water's fine. Just ignore all that. But don't you dare have anal sex.
Michigan Senate passes bill making butt sex punishable by 15 years in prison. This is real. They actually did this.
This is what they're doing instead of dealing with the issue in Flint.
And you know how they did it? It's not like they just got on the House of Representatives floor or the Senate. It's not like they went onto the Michigan State Senate floor and said, you know what we need to do is ban butt sex. They snuck it into an animal abuse bill. So it says you're not allowed to do all these horrible things to animals, and also you can't have butt sex with other people either. Sodomy ban is directly linked to a law against bestiality, essentially saying that the two are equal.
Here's what's so frustrating and stupid about this. The U.S. Supreme Court has already declared that
you can't
a
do
law
it.
like this is unconstitutional.
It's illegal to have a law like this.
You know what they're doing? They're wasting your taxpayer money working on something that has no purpose whatsoever. Like, this kind of shit makes me wish that there could be a criminal, like, you know what there should be a law that says is that if you waste taxpayer money, if you're a lawmaker who's an elected official who does this kind of shit instead of actually doing your work, that you go to jail for 15 years. How about that?
Didn't they also do something like this in Louisiana recently?
Probably.
I don't remember if it wasn't a butt sex thing. It was something else, but something that's.
Yeah, Louisiana is at least. I mean, the entire South is at least as conservative as Michigan is.
Right. So, Michigan doesn't really strike me as a super conservative state. Obviously, I'm wrong, but I never realized how illegally conservative they were. It's like.
So this sodomy ban directly links to a law against bestiality, essentially saying the two are equal. The law states that it is a felony for anyone to commit the, quote, abominable and detestable crime against nature with mankind or with any animal. It's the with mankind wording that creates the loophole to keep the sodomy ban intact, even though the 2003 ruling in the Lawrence v. Texas Supreme Court case declared it unconstitutional.
13 years ago.
Yeah, it took that long for the Supreme Court to say it's okay to have butt sex.
Yeah.
Now the bill has passed through the Senate. It's head over to the White House to the House for approval, which means that there's still time to change wording and keep mankind out entirely. What a waste of fucking time. Fuck you guys.
They were having butt sex. Cowboy butt sex. Silly Ted Cruz. You hired a porn star. How does this happen?
Okay, I think it's important to discern the difference between a hardcore and soft, because she's just a softcore porn star,
right?
Like, she's not even probably having sex,
which means specifically they're faking it, and you don't actually witness penetration. Is that what the distinction is?
Well, I mean, certainly not in the ad.
You're still naked.
They're definitely not naked in the ad.
No, not in the ad, but
the ad is not itself softcore porn. But there was a softcore porn actress in it.
I went and grabbed the original BuzzFeed article because there's a video.
Oh yeah, so if you want to watch it, go to are you planning on playing any of it?
You know what? It's short, and I don't even know who she is because I couldn't be bothered to look up a picture of the actress in question. But
I'm assuming, looking at them, I see two blonde women, and one's face I can see and one I can't. So I'm going with the one I can see.
Probably the lady on the left, probably right.
Yeah.
But what I am going to do is mute the sound and hit play because no one cares really about the political propaganda and nonsense. But this poor guy's sad that he voted for Rubio. That's all there is. So Amy Lindsay has appeared in such films as Erotic Confessions, Carnal Wishes, Secrets of a Chambermaid, and Insatiable Desires, and now a Ted Cruz ad.
The ad, which was set as a group therapy session of conservative voters who feel betrayed by Mark Rubio on immigration, featured actor Amy Lindsay, who portrayed a woman telling another group member, maybe you should just vote for more than just a pretty face next time.
Yeah, it was the long one that you could see, because I did actually watch all 28 seconds of this ad. And
the whole 28 seconds?
Whole 28 seconds that I'll never get
Do you
back.
feel more inclined to not vote for Rubio?
I don't feel more inclined to do anything except not watch the ad a second time.
And less inclined to not vote for Cruz?
I don't really like any of them.
Well, here's the thing, though. Cruz has based his entire campaign on drawing voters in from the extreme conservative religious side.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to do.
He doesn't want to lose any of those votes.
Right. So.
Like any of those people would be like. Actually, I suspect. Here's the thing. Here's what's funny about this. None of these people would recognize her as a softcore porn actress, because extreme conservative religious types only watch the very disturbing hardcore porn. That's actually true. They showed that in Utah, which is a very religious state, has the highest consumption of porn.
Yeah. Well, it comes from
not just porn, but like hardcore porn.
It comes from the notion of methinks thou dost protest too much. The more you rage against a thing, the more likely it is that you're probably secretly in love with that thing.
Exactly.
You know what that means? Like, because if we want to logic this all out, that means the entire Senate
lawmakers are really into anal sex.
Yes, the entire Michigan State Senate wants to have butt sex with each other. You heard it here first.
They close the doors at the end of each session and just huge orgy,
giant butt orgy. That's what happens at the end.
You heard it here first, folks.
It's not like we're disseminating.
Hey, have you ever gotten an email from a Nigerian prince?
Several times. Yeah. Specifically when I used to have a Yahoo.
But have you ever gotten one? Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. We're both
specifically when I used to have a Yahoo email account, they like to troll the Yahoo directories.
Okay. But have you ever gotten one from outer space?
No, I haven't.
Danger, Will Robinson.
I know.
Interact.
I had
That's
to.
a great name. That's from Ready Player One. Have you ever read Ready Player One or listened to it?
I've heard you rage about how awesome it is.
Ready Player One fans will recognize Anorak. Apparently somebody uses that name. He received an urgent email from the cousin of Nigerian astronaut Air Force Major Abacha Tunde.
This is the best. It's like the Nigerian prince grew up, became an astronaut, and got lost in space.
Yeah,
and his cousin now his cousin wants to get him home, and it's up to you to give him your bank account numbers. His cousin
is sending out this email saying that explaining that his prince cousin astronaut went up to space in 1989, or excuse me, in 1990. He's been stuck in space since 1990.
No, it's 1919. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it says in the 14 years, so this dude can't even do math, he's accumulated flight pay and interest amounting to almost 15 million American dollars. This is held in trust at the Lagos National Savings and Trust Association. If we can obtain access to this money, we can place a down payment with the Russian space authorities for Soyuz to return to bring him back to Earth. I'm told this will cost 3 million American dollars. So if you send us $3 million, we'll send you 15 million back once we get them back.
Well, no, it's 20%. So in return of sending us all of your money, we have agreed to offer you 20% of the transferred sum, while 10% shall be set aside for incidental purposes, internal and external expenses between parties in the course of the transaction. Bullshit, and we're going to trick you because who the hell still falls for this?
Dude, obviously people are still falling for it. Like, well, okay, I don't know about this one. But obviously the Nigerian prince scam works a very small fraction of time, which is all it needs to continue being passed around, because it's still going on. I mean, it happens like every day we'll hear about it. We'll get a public record from police who are hear about somebody losing money to a scam like this.
Yep. And make sure your firewall is intact before visiting www.nasrda.gov.ng for a good
don't
chuckle.
go there. How about that?
But it would be really funny. I want to make sure my firewall is intact and then go check it out.
And you know what? If you find somebody on Craigslist who's offering a job where you go around and run errands for them, and one of the things they ask you to do is deposit money into a bank account and they'll pay you back later, don't do that job.
Don't do that. No, don't do that job.
That's just basically
deposit your own money.
It's
not like picking up money and taking it to the bank. It's like taking your money, putting it in the bank.
Yeah, here's a check. Go deposit both these checks and write a check for me, and it'll be fine.
It will be.
Don't do it.
It'll be super fine.
Finally,
hey,
if you're an anxious person,
dude, is my camera zooming in on my beard?
No.
Someone in the chat room thinks I'm having a camera issue because it keeps zooming in on my beard.
Well, you're using a different camera.
Oh, that's right.
For that,
dude, it is wobbling around. I don't know. My camera seems to have a mind of its own. But I don't know. Do you like it? It's a nice beard.
You know, is it freaking out? Because maybe you could just take some MDMA.
My camera's experiencing anxiety and needs a hit of ecstasy.
According to decodedmagazine.com, the DEA that's the Drug Enforcement Administration, for those who don't know, has approved the first clinical trial of MDMA, or ecstasy, to treat anxiety and other psychological illnesses amid a growing resurgence in therapeutic psychedelic drug usage in the medical community. Al Jazeera.com reports that the tide has changed for psychedelic research, said Brad Burge, the communications director for Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies, a California-based nonprofit research group that studies medicinal uses for psychedelics and marijuana, and sponsored the study. The DEA approved the project on Friday. Unlike ecstasy or Molly, names for MDMA sold on the street and often mixed with dangerous adulterants, pure MDMA has been proven sufficiently safe when taken a limited number of times in moderate doses.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So the clinical trial will be held in Marin, California, in a psychologist's office as opposed to a hospital setting. Patients will lie on a couch with the therapist nearby for support and conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems strange to me that people would take MDMA, because my recollection of the drug is that people take it and go to things like raves and stuff where they party a lot, and that they suck on the what do you call those things? The pacifiers, right?
So that you don't
it makes you grind your teeth and stuff like that. And they're gonna have them take it and lay on a couch.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I've always, my perception of that drug. I've never taken it, but my perception of that drug is that like it's all sorts of sensory stuff. Like you want to move around and rub yourself and rub other things and move.
Yeah, it sounds like complete waste. Just sit on a couch and it's gonna be quite a surprise for the psychiatrist when his patients like get up and start grinding on it.
Seems like they'd probably just sit down and offer him.
Tell me about your mother.
It's like, why don't you just walk into the psychologist's office or the therapist's
What's your relationship with your father like?
And chew on a pot brownie. Like, wouldn't you just want to go in there and chew on a pot brownie for a minute and then lay down and talk about stuff?
Yeah. If you're gonna lay down and talk about stuff, do the pot study.
Seems much more logical to me. But you know what? This is science, and who the hell are we to argue with science?
All right. Hey.
It's are you ready to be entertained?
It's time for Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Entertainment is brought to you today by Gravity, keeping your feet on the ground since the universe was born. Meanwhile, in a category of shit nobody was asking for, we're getting 3 new Transformers movies.
Yes, that's depressing, and I don't want to talk about it. I just want to point out that Michael Bay is going to be making 3 new. Actually, Wahlberg is going to be in at least 2 of them. I think I saw. I didn't really read it. I just saw that they were making old 3 more fucking Transformers.
That's cool.
I used to
Album
love
art.
Transformers when I was a kid, and I was really excited when I heard they were making them at the beginning, and then I watched the first. The first one was actually all right.
First one was good. The third one
Yeah.
was passable. The middle one and the last one were the worst things that have ever happened to the human race. And
I don't know. I enjoyed the first one. I haven't enjoyed one since. And apparently there's going to be 7 Transformer movies at least. It's depressing.
All right.
Anyway, moving on. Something that's not depressing. The Walking Dead is going to be back tomorrow.
Are you sure that The Walking Dead's not depressing? Have you not read this article?
No, I didn't want any spoilers, so I didn't open it up because I don't want to know what's happening. I just want to be surprised.
I didn't realize that IO9 was owned by Gizmodo, or the other way around. That's pretty cool. Walking Dead has never been accused of being a happy show. It's one of the few shows on TV that can be called misery porn. It's an exercise in watching characters face tragedy after tragedy until their eventual horrible deaths. And that's not really true because, I mean, every death on this show... This article talks about how every death on this show serves a serious purpose. Like it progresses the plot or the characters in a way that is effective and reasonable and useful. It's not just torture porn showing you something miserable for the sake
It's a little
of
bit torture
misery.
porn.
But it's kind of torture porn.
I don't know if it serves a purpose. I mean, it's still just entertainment. So.
Right, well, but it's not just like spitting out shock value at you for no reason.
It does it a little. They do it a little bit.
This
I mean,
article,
every now and then, like I'm thinking, what was the black guy with the hammer?
Tyrese.
Tyrese. Remember?
yeah.
Remember? How, no, not Tyrese.
Wasn't it
Tyrese
Tyrese?
was because Tyrese isn't Tyrese T-Dog.
No, T-Dog is different.
Okay. Well, all right. Anyway, Tyrese then, his death, and spoiler here, but this was like 2 seasons ago, so I feel like this is all right. He dies in a very kind of lame, really super lame way. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't really remember it, but I believe
Like
it.
his death served zero purpose.
Hmm.
That's just one example that I could think of off the top of my head.
I don't know. I don't remember that one specifically anymore. But I mean, this article cites several character deaths, like Dale. Dale, remember Dale? It's
zero purpose there too. He was just walking across the field.
Well, no,
He gets
but
bitten by a zombie stuck in the mud.
Not necessarily to advance the plot, but to the psychological value of losing this character at that point. It keeps the tension up without sacrificing any of the necessary characters. But no, that was regardless. This article asserts that this season, Walking Dead's going too far. They've seen a what do they call that? An advanced screening of of tomorrow's premiere, and in an interview, dude, what plays Rick? What's his name? This guy.
Grimes.
Yeah, Rick Grimes. Well, yeah, Rick Grimes.
I don't know his real name.
Andrew Lincoln.
I would have. Let me point out. I would have no idea who you were talking about if you just said Andrew.
It's Rick. Rick Grimes.
Right. You say Rick
was
Grimes.
actually made sick to his stomach by the script for this premiere. I don't know. I hope they don't jump the shark. It's not really jumping the shark, but I hope they don't.
I hope they don't lose one of their main characters that you fall in love with.
Well,
over
yeah.
years.
I mean,
I did see some other article that put it in the headline on Facebook that this season will be Norman Reedus' last. Although they said that for the last 3 seasons in a row.
Well, how much money is he going to fetch when he gets back on the market?
I don't know, man. He's pretty popular. He's by far the
Daryl.
most popular person on this show.
But another question this article raises is, at what point, if you were to decide to kill off Daryl, how many viewers are you going to lose because he brings in all that cash? He's on all the merchandise. Everyone loves Daryl more than anybody, and more even than Rick. People like Daryl.
Yeah.
He's where the money is. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Next. Oh, yeah, they're canceling Agent Carter.
Yeah, I saw that. I just thought I'd throw that out there. They're canceling Agent Carter. Just saw that yesterday. That's kind of sad. I was pretty entertained by the first season of it.
Yeah, my dad really likes it. But what does that make you think about yourself? My dad
You
has
know,
worst taste.
You know, even a broken clock is right twice. It wasn't a great show.
I hope he's
It was a
I hope he's
mildly
listening.
entertaining show.
I hope my dad is listening to this show right now, or at least at some point. You can
I'm
call
sorry,
him up.
I just can't get past the whole Zombie Nation thing. Just
It was, what was that? Z Nation?
Z Nation.
Z Nation, yeah. No,
That's
he has.
just terrible.
He actually doesn't like it anymore.
You know,
He thinks-
I love the Zambies, but
those aren't zombies. Those are like, that's something different.
what? What are you talking about? Z Nation is not zombies.
Not anymore. Now it's dudes painted blue that aren't actually zombies. They're just sort of cold and they're like walking. It's different. It's a whole other-
We've had this discussion before.
Well, no, I know.
Your stupid, narrow-minded
No,
interpretation
dude.
of what a zombie is obnoxious as fuck.
Tell you what, go back and watch the most recent premiere for Z Nation and tell me that dude is still a zombie because he's walking around telling jokes. And
Oh, you're talking about the one guy who's like infected but
No.
still human?
yeah, but now
Or are
there's
they all like that?
now there's gonna be more of them because he's the cure to zombification or something, and it's gonna be a bunch of blue people.
You're overthinking it.
I am not overthinking it. It's a shitty show, and it's not zombies
Well,
anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
And this was really exciting. I thought on the day that I saw this,
did you
I
think
thought
it was,
going to
fake?
be a glorious day in nerddom because I fell for that motherfucking Firefly coming back on Netflix thing again.
How do you
You
keep
know,
doing that?
I've fallen for that so many fucking times.
It's gotten me one time.
Yeah, because you actually learn from your mistakes.
That's just one that I know it's never happening because I wanted it for so long and they've tried to trick me so many times and I just don't even read it anymore.
God damn it, that pissed me off so much. But here's the good news: even though
This is actually
Firefly
happening.
is apparently never happening, a live-action Zelda show is coming to Netflix. They call it Game of Thrones for the family.
Game of Thrones for the whole family, which
That's-
means it's Game of Thrones without all the death
Sex.
and sex and blood and rape,
Which are
and
the best
torture
parts of
and-
Game of Thrones, so I don't know how it's...
and people with their willies.
But Zelda! I love
Getting cut
me
off.
some Zelda. Zelda was the second video game I remember really playing as a kid.
Wow, you're old.
Yeah.
Super old.
The first two games I got were Metroid and Zelda.
Wow, that's a good place to start though. First game I ever got was Super Mario World. World, not like Mario Brothers, not like Super
Right.
Mario.
I'm trying to
Brothers.
remember which system was that on.
Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
First console I owned. Beat that game. I played that game for years. That and Madden on the Super Nintendo every single year. Netflix is reportedly working closely with Nintendo, and in case you don't know, that's the Japanese game company that has successfully launched more than 20 Zelda games since the original debut in 1987.
You know, I would argue that maybe they should not work close with Nintendo because
I don't believe they have
Nintendo
a
hasn't done
choice.
anything right in quite a while now.
They don't have a choice, dude. It's a Nintendo property.
No,
Notoriously
I know
very
they just
protective.
need to get them to sign off of it. They don't need to work close with them.
Good luck with that. Nintendo is notoriously very protective over its various properties and have allowed few adaptations over the years. Legend of Zelda animated series did debut in 1989, had one season, and it was balls. What else
Not
you
good
got?
balls,
Super
bad,
Mario Bros.
stinky balls.
Bad, little vinegary. Netflix is currently seeking a writer, so it's a ways off still, but it is in the works. And,
But it's happening.
It is happening. It still has plenty of time to fall apart and not happen and disappoint us all, but they're doing it. Has anything new come out? Do we want to do top 5 this week?
I mean, it takes like 30 seconds.
30
You know,
seconds.
one new movie came out. You may have heard
That
of it.
is
It's
right.
called this little thing called Deadpool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Hold on.
I've got a point there, right?
Chat room's jumping today. By jumping, I mean there's been like 6 people.
6 old people. Hey guys,
I know. Shout out
what's
to
wrong with you? Do you have anything better to do with your time?
shout out to Mama Sergeant 9 and Tom Kelly. Says, "What's up, you ass nerds?"
That's a pretty accurate description. That's what we are.
In its second week on the chart, made $21.2 million for a total of $69.2. Kung Fu Panda 3. Wait.
Okay,
Did
sure.
Deadpool? Dude, did Deadpool happen?
It came out, but it's probably not in the top 5 because it only opened yesterday. We'll give it a little mention. All right, Kung Fu Panda 3, 81 and 86%. Jack Black, Angelina Jolie, a couple other folks playing animated characters. You probably, if you don't know what Kung Fu Panda is, then you're either 5 or 80. So,
dude, there's a lot of 5-year-olds who love Kung Fu Panda.
Then you're 2 or 80. But let's throw this out there real quick because I think both this and Zoolander 2 just opened yesterday. So Deadpool 84 and 96%.
Nice.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll level out. That'll change over the days. But and then Zoolander 2, 23 and 38%. That's not very good.
No.
But I'm also not surprised.
No. Zoolander 2 seems like a doomed movie before it even started.
Seems like a what?
A doomed movie before it even started.
I thought you said a doobie movie.
Well, no, I think
for a second I was like, yeah, I bet that probably is funnier.
I was going to say that's probably the only way this movie succeeds is if everyone is stoned when they go to see it. In its first week on the chart, that's last week. Usually it's Friday when we do this thing. Sure. Made 11.3 for a total of 11.3 because it's his first week. Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar. That's the Coen Brothers movie we mentioned a little while ago during that list. 81 and 46%.
Oh.
That's weird.
That is super weird.
Yeah,
Liked it.
Critics have seen so many Coen Brothers movies and are probably judging it based on their legacy so far and being very harsh on it. I don't know. We'll see if that changes as the weeks proceed. But that's the George Clooney and Josh Brolin. You've probably seen the billions of trailers for it coming on TV all the time.
In its 8th week, made $6.9 million. It's at nearly $1 billion domestic gross. Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Still at 92 and 90% critics and users. I was gonna see it again, but it's not in any of our theaters, so I'll just wait till it's.
Is it really not?
Yeah, well, I mean, the theaters around here suck.
Yeah, there's one.
I could probably drive to Lewiston and see it if I really wanted to.
But I don't want it now.
An hour and a half round trip, probably not worth it.
In its 7th week, it made 6.9, almost identical numbers to Star Wars, for a total of 149. The Revenant.
Yeah, that's the Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy one, 82 and 85%. Hey, going back to Star Wars real quick, what is the mark that it has to get to beat Avatar in the theaters?
I don't know. I will go and look at that in a moment.
Okay. I'll look it up while you get us to the next one.
In its first week, made $6 million. The Choice. Don't know anything about that. Never heard of it.
Let's see. This is a Benjamin Walker. Go away, ad. Oh crap! Then let's see. Damn it. Yeah, that's great. Make it so I can't see any of the people in it. So Benjamin Walker, Noree Victoria. No idea who either of those people are. Oh, this is weird. 7% critics, 66% users.
Wow. What's it about?
Oh, I've been looking at the critics and users opposite of the way. So when I said that the Hail Caesar is 81.46, that's critics and users. So critics
love it and users
love
hate
it. Users don't. Okay, that actually makes sense to me because I could see. Like, I've always found that Coen Brothers movies often, not always, but I've often found that Coen Brothers movies require multiple viewings to appreciate the complexity and the brilliance. So that actually doesn't surprise me. But anyway, The Choice, 7% critics, 66% users. This is a feisty medical student. Gabby Holland moves in next door to perennial ladies' man Travis Shaw. It sends them both on a romantic journey neither ever dreamed possible. Blah, blah, blah.
That sounds terrible. That sounds like nothing I ever want to see. And just for the hell of it, because this is the show we're on, in its first week on the chart and in 6th position, made $5.3 miserable $1 million. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, because Matt Smith's in it.
I didn't realize that. Actually, this is a lot better than I would expect this movie to do. 46 and 59% critics and users. That's kind of surprising to me, to be honest. I would think that would be like teens at best.
I don't know, dude. Actors. Oh, Lena Headey's in it.
Who's Lena Headey?
The freaking Cersei Lannister.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, and this is produced by Natalie Portman.
Huh.
Crazy. That's a small Hollywood.
That's very surprising to me. That's not something I would expect Natalie Portman to be involved in any way, shape, or form.
But she's got a sense of humor. Did you ever see? And speaking of sense of humor, not really funny, but did you ever see Closer?
No, what is that?
It's this weird, twisted, psychological sex story with Clive Owen and someone else and Natalie Portman, and it's weird and.
Oh, is it like? Is there like a love triangle or something?
Yeah. And,
I remember somebody telling me that was a really great movie.
I wouldn't call it great. I would call it fascinating.
Like, I mean, they also said it was depressing and disturbing.
Yeah, that.
But you can still have a great movie that's depressing and disturbing.
Yeah, no, they're not mutually exclusive. I
think they may have said it was their favorite movie.
Was that my wife? Because I know she likes it quite a bit.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's weird, but Natalie Portman gets very nearly naked in it.
Well, I'm gonna go watch it right after the show. And by the way, Avatar made $2.78 billion in the theaters. I don't think.
Well, that's globally though. That's worldwide.
Okay, so what are we at globally with Star Wars?
I don't know.
You move on. I'll look that up because I'm just sheer curiosity.
Really curious. Well, coming up next, I need to have a conversation with you about the best game I've played on my phone.
That sounds serious. About what?
About the best game I've played on my phone.
Oh, okay.
In a long time.
Actually, that does not sound serious. Is it okay? Is that the game you were talking about earlier?
Yes, but we weren't on the show yet.
No, we weren't.
No. I mean, we were streaming, but we weren't. The show proper had not started.
Okay. We'll go ahead and start that conversation, and I'll join in when I feel like it.
Now I know you haven't played it, but you should. And there's no reason in the world that everyone in the world shouldn't be playing this game while they poop, because it takes all of.
Well, that's when you play games on your phone. Let's be honest. That's really the only time I play games on my phone.
Right.
Or fantasy football.
When else do you have time to do it? So I'm not gonna show you because. I mean, there you can see it, but the other folks have a camera right here. This is what the game looks like. It's dots. It's dots. You see dots.
Okay, this is an audio show. I mean, there's people who can join us, but just describe what it is.
You control a cell, a single dot on a grid, and there's thousands of other tiny dots, and you move your dot around the screen and eat smaller dots till you grow. That makes you grow. You're adding mass to your dot, your cell, until you get to a size where you can eat other people's dots. And there's no real physics except that the smaller you are, the faster you move. And so it's the most deceptively complex yet simple game I've ever played. It takes all of 2 seconds to get into a game and 2 more seconds to get eaten and lose and have to start over. And you don't have to buy anything. I mean, it tries to tempt you to spend money, but really you just have to watch an ad every few games. And I haven't found a game like this that demands so little of me, and yet obsesses me the way this one does. So everyone should go out and try this one. I mean, there's no reason not to, because it's very tiny, and I'm playing a game right now and not even paying any attention.
We're hang on. We're doing a show. You can't play video games. I will say what I said earlier, which is that it sounds like something. It sounds like an Atari game.
Well, no, that. It doesn't have to be a complicated visual.
No,
situation.
I'm not saying it does. It just sounds like a very simple Atari type game that might have been really exciting in 1978.
Well, except in 1978, you couldn't play it with someone across the world.
No, I get that. But that doesn't make me that much more excited to play a game, or really any more excited to play that game at all. Like if it's something where I could team up with somebody and beat a dungeon or something, then that kind of makes it a little more interesting.
Well, that's where it becomes
multiplayer,
complex,
first-person shooters, stuff like that.
Because you will have folks that show up on a server, name themselves something by which they identify each other, collect mass, and try and cumulatively together achieve the highest rank on the leaderboard. So
can you get so big that you just take up the entire server?
No, because that's where it gets.
There's a cap.
No, there's not a cap, but there are viruses. That if you accidentally eat a virus, it makes you explode into 1,000 tiny bits, and then other players will eat you. But you'll have a team of people all working together to try and make the biggest cell by eating everyone else and feeding each other. And collaboratively working against other teams of people. You can play it by yourself; you'll never get that big, but you can hook up with other people trying to do the same, and it becomes a little more complicated than just flying around on a grid eating stuff. So I challenge you to go download this game. agar.io.
Yes, I think he's challenging the rest of you because I'm pretty sure he's figured out by now that I probably won't. I might.
Dude,
this depends on how much time I spend on the toilet over the next few days before I forget about this conversation.
You like to play games while you're pooping. You can
I do.
Go out there. What are you doing?
I also like the Facebook scroll.
Yeah.
I prep for the show on the pooper.
I respond to your show prep while I'm on the pooper. That's exactly what I do.
I just last week sent a Facebook message to somebody that said, "I don't remember what I used to do while I pooped before smartphones."
Bet it didn't take as long to go poop.
Remember magazines?
Yeah, you know what? My in-laws still have a box of magazines by their toilet.
Yeah.
It's weird to go to their house and use their bathroom and just see a little trash can full of rolled up magazines that my father-in-law, I know he's just sitting there reading Gun Owners Monthly or whatever it is.
It used to kind of weird me out to like pick up a magazine that you knew somebody else was holding while they were pooping.
Yeah, I don't do it.
But now it weirds me out to like touch somebody else's cell phone.
I never thought of it that way. That's gross.
By the way,
thanks for that. I appreciate that whole new perspective on the world that you've given me.
Going back to Star Wars and Avatar, I found an article that said from February 6th, so just a week ago, that said that The Force Awakens was set to hit $2 billion globally on Saturday, so last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But Avatar holds a record at 2.8 billion, and Titanic, another James Cameron movie, is in second place. So Force Awakens is still just the third highest grossing movie in Hollywood history. And I don't think it's going to be around long enough to reach 2.8.
Well, you know what? Everyone should go out and see it this weekend. We got to beat that record.
Let's push it up above. Actually, I don't mind if it. I don't mind if it loses out to Avatar, because Avatar was such a novelty with the 3D thing, because it's not really a fair comparison. But but to lose out to Titanic, that kind of pisses me off.
What are you doing with your game time now, anyway?
I've been playing, actually, speaking of Star Wars, I've been playing this stupid Star Wars game called, it's an EA sports, I guess it's not a sports game, but it's an EA game, Electronic Arts, called shit.
That's a terrible
Star
game.
Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Is that a mobile thing? Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Is that the one that I see on Facebook all the time, where it's telling me
you create your kind of homepage is the Cantina.
Oh, good.
And you can go.
It should be.
You have two separate teams. You have a light side team and a dark side team, and you can get more characters, but it's really hard to get more characters. It's a lot of grinding, so I haven't been. I was kind of really into it for about a week, and then just got exhausted by it because it requires a lot to make any progress.
Free-to-play mobile games are the worst. Free-to-play mobile games are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend. The last time I logged on, it was like, you can get this dude for $49. Fucking kidding me? Like, how into this game do you think I am?
Dude,
Fuck you.
there's people that'll do it.
No, obviously they wouldn't offer it if there weren't idiots who did it. But
Indeed. Well, gosh.
they're the ones who are ruining it for the rest of us. Because you're spending money on this stupid game.
It's time for some robot news.
Beep, boop,
Robots.
boop.
Robo roaches.
I didn't even look to see where you're at. Oh, by the way, speaking of this is moving backwards a little bit, but there's a new expanded downloadable. No, it's not even expanded downloadable. It's just a new expanded Rainbow Six setup with a couple new maps and a couple new characters. Those who are playing that, I'm loving it. Still great.
Rainbow Six. That's a Tom Clancy joint.
Yes, indeed. They're working very closely with him.
They're working very closely with Tom Clancy on the newest Rainbow Six game.
I think Tom Clancy might be dead.
In which case, they're probably not working that closely with him. So
What
hey,
am I hearing? Is that you or is that? Oh, that's the video of the roaches.
that was the Robo Roaches that immediately decided to start playing a waltz.
So another robot. We've already talked about Rubio. Got another similar thing here.
This video really likes to push the creepiness of the cockroach.
Yeah, they're really delving into that.
And it is pretty creepy. They ran the cockroaches through a series of tests, which unfortunately failed to kill them. Found they can squeeze. This is fascinating. They squeeze through crevices a quarter of their size and can survive up to 300 times their body weight pushing down on them, and that has made scientists make a robot that's like a cockroach.
Yes. So they kind of use the engineering that lies behind those attributes for roaches and kind of built a robot based on that can go into that they can use to like go into like collapsed buildings or things like that. And search for missing people and things like that, and that can squeeze themselves down into little spaces. Although I would argue, and I think they even mentioned it somewhere in the article, that these look a little bit more like armadillos or something like that.
They do until you smush it down, like when they get smushed under the weights and stuff, and they squish themselves down to wiggle around and They talk. It says that this is not enough to justify the existence of cockroaches, which are still the worst. And the best part about this is some of the comments I've read. They may be able to withstand 300 pounds of pressure, or 300 times their own body weight, but they can't withstand a hit from the heel of a penny loafer. People that
plus these things are fairly large. I think they're actually the size of a armadillo or something.
Yeah, well, they're meant to be search and rescue bots, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they rescue. They're just search. And
well, yeah, they're not going to drag anybody out from the rubble.
Well, I mean, one of the other things they mentioned about cockroaches is that they travel in terms of their body size and in terms of their size, they run the equivalent of 140 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
And even when they're smushed down to that, as they can do, they still run about 40% of that full speed.
Damn, nature.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's pretty cool.
But this is what we're really trying to get to today. A woman is doing the Lord's work and making a smart vibrator. This is coming to us from Gizmodo, because why not?
Well, I mean, you've got smartphones.
Yeah.
You've got smart watches. You've got smart cars.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we were going to get there eventually.
This is the logical next step.
This from Gizmodo. The vagina and clitoris are mysterious things. No, seriously, they are. Scientists make big bucks studying the penis, but the vagina and the clitoris often languish in official research circles. They languish in the bedroom, too.
Oh, my God. This is
lesbians intimately familiar with the Pootananny. That's actually written here.
Pootananny, yeah. This is the legitimate news source.
Yeah, they experience significantly more orgasms than straight or bisexual women. If women aren't getting down to the business themselves, there's a good chance they won't be rocking their Casbahs as often. And Liz Klinger wants to change that. She's familiar, blah, 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 blah. She developed the Lioness. It's a vibrator loaded loaded for bear.
That's the best line in this whole article, which I have read the entire article. It is a
with
vibrator
sensors that report back on just about everything going on down under during states of arousal. It even tracks when it's used and for how long, sort of like a fitness tracker for your cooch. This is great. I love this writing.
I know. It's a vibrator loaded for bear. It's my favorite line. I had laughed out loud at that.
So it's called the Lioness. It's available via Indiegogo.
You can pre-order
for $190.
You can pre-order it on Indiegogo for $190. Otherwise, you'll just have to wait for the $300 retail version.
Yeah, or you could just wait like 2 years when there's like 6 billion of these on the market, and because you know that these are going to be replicated.
Oh yeah,
and sold more cheaply by somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Jamie,
there'll be a Samsung version. For you.
Does this run on Galaxy?
No, but you know it's going to be able to link up with your iPhone or with your smartphone.
No, so Jamie Lannister, commenter, says, scientists make big bucks studying the penis. They do, man. I missed my calling. He says there could be a drawback, though. You go home, days you'll think, if I have to look at one more penis.
What?
If you're a girl studying the penis, you have to go home and have sex with your husband, and you just cut that bitch off because you just can't deal with one more penis.
And finally, if you've seen too many penises at work, scientists can do something about that now.
Well done.
The Telegraph is reporting that scientists have discovered a way to delete unwanted memories. A new documentary from PBS reveals how cutting-edge science enables us to sunshine of the mind unpleasant memories and create new ones from scratch.
Yeah. So this is a weird combination of Eternal Sunshine and the Schwarzenegger movie. The one. What's
Total
the
Recall?
one? Total Recall. Because not only are we getting rid of the things we don't want to remember, we're just going to replace them with the cool shit that we want to have remembered.
You know, here's the thing that weirds me out about this. I don't have really any interest in like I get the value in deleting memories that screw you up,
like
right?
The traumatic sort of
traumatic experiences that you still haven't really processed properly because it happened to you when you were 5 and you didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
But putting in new memories, like if I didn't get to actually experience it, because I mean the joy I take from a pleasant memory is that I remember, it happening and knowing. But if like you have a fake memory, like I don't know, that just doesn't seem like there's any value in that to me. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Like if I can't even at least go through the experience, that like even if it's simulated, like I can understand a simulated experience that I might remember. But if I don't get to go through the actual experience of creating that memory, then I don't get it.
Well, that's the thing though, is like if you remember doing it, then you did do it. Like that's the point of it, is that if you remember doing it, then it's as real as having done it. I love how we're just completely skipping over the deletion of memories as a recreational activity. Like, God, I really hated work today. I want to forget that shit. So you move on.
Was that what it's going to be used for like mundane, boring shit to get rid of those memories?
No, I think we're probably more accurate about getting rid of the traumatic things that damage your brain or your psyche and your psyche. Like you just can't like things that would normally be repressed by a brain. Like we're just going to get rid of all that stuff altogether. But how do you deal with that legally? Like when you walk in, you sign a waiver that says, yeah, delete my memory. But do they have a record of that somewhere? A record of the deleted memory that like
I don't know. I don't remember.
Right? That's the trouble. Is like
I don't remember signing this.
You would have to go in and like paycheck that thing. Like you would have to go in and remember signing the thing. But
Send yourself
somehow,
a package and...
but then somehow not remember what you wanted to forget, right? But
you're gonna wake up from your memory augmentation. You're gonna be like, "Why are my pants undone?"
What else have I forgotten? Dude, this is a huge can of worms that, I mean, it's interesting to think about, but damn, it's complicated as far as actually implementing it in society, right?
So they talk about this kid, and so I think what they're getting at is that this isn't going to be just on the market for schmoes like you and I, but it'll actually serve a particular purpose for people with certain memory issues or certain problems. Like this kid they talk about, Jake Hostler, a 12-year-old boy from St. Louis who can remember just about every single thing he's experienced since the age of 8. He's the youngest person ever to be diagnosed with highly superior autobiographical memory, which makes it difficult for him to distinguish between trivial and important events from his past. Now, that is an issue where this could come in and play a valuable role. A prominent neuroscientist who's currently working on a technique to erase painful memories, this guy named Andre Fenton, says forgetting is probably one of the most important things that brains actually do. We understand only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to human memory. So I could see how it would be useful in certain situations with these kinds of issues. But in terms of like getting rid of memories about being stuck at work for too long or sitting in class.
Obviously, I don't think that's that reasonable to think that. But I just, as far as implementing this on a societal level, like, sure, I mean, very specific issue with this one kid with his one problem, but.
Well, they also mention one of the other psychologists who's working on it, or working in a similar field, has discovered that medication can be used to remove negative associations of some memories, through which she's managed to, quote, cure patients of arachnophobia.
Right. So no, it's just complicated as far as taking this technology that's moving past theory, right, and into practice. Like, so we're learning how to do it for real, how to take that from experimenting and put it into practical use in a legal way that's not going to cause more trouble than it's worth.
But again, I still don't care so much about. I mean, I obviously the removal of bad memories or removal of unnecessary memories, that trivial memories that are clogging up your brain, right. That obviously has value on that end. But in terms of putting new memories in, unless I can, quote, experience, even if that means a simulated experience that's being, beamed into my brain, Matrix style or Ghost in the Machine style, I'm fine with that. I think that would be great, and I'm excited about that. I hope it happens in my lifetime because I think that would be awesome. But if I'm just implanting a memory, I mean, that kind of thing I only see that being useful if you're not actually going through the process of seeming like you're actually experiencing it.
But if it was done right
in the moment, no, I know you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I get it, but that doesn't matter to me. That's kind of beside the point for me. Like, I want to actually experience it in the moment.
Yeah. No, I get it. I
live in the moment, Sean. You should know that about me.
Is that because
I'm all about the moment.
Is that because you forget half the shit that just happened to you?
Carpe diem. Yeah, I've got the memory of a goldfish. Like 3 seconds and it's gone.
Seize the carp. Hey, bro, if you're still listening to this show, there's something wrong with you. But if you made it this far, that's awesome and we appreciate it. You should go on to wherever you consume your media and talk about something we did. Let us know what you thought. Give us your 2 cents. Give us a rating on iTunes. We love a rating. Good 5-star rating. That's all we want, though. Please don't hurt us with a bad rating. We don't want that. Just send me an angry email instead. Thanks to...
Or just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, if you hate what we did, this show probably isn't for you anyway.
Yeah, and maybe don't listen to us anymore. That's fine.
And tell all your friends how bad we are. But don't give us a bad rating on the internet because that stuff is permanent. Thanks to Libsyn for the bandwidth, all members of the network for their contributions. That was me and Bill today because we're still working on getting Corey back. Thanks to Great Pacific for our theme music. Everyone for tuning in at home. Thanks for hanging out with us. Dude, we got to work out a schedule with the comic.
I like how at the end of this you've got new show Tuesday. When was the last time we did a fucking show on Tuesday? Like a year and a half ago?
Well, here, watch this. I'm going to do
new show
something.
Friday?
New show. Sometime.
Or just get rid of it altogether.
It's all gone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Where do you send your feedback, suggestions to Northwest Nerd Network at gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at NW Nerd Network and on Facebook at facebook.com/NW Nerd Network. Bill?
Yes, sir.
This has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a while to get here.
Yes, it was very frustrating on Sean's side mostly. I mean, it was frustrating on my side, but my fault mostly. So
I had a hard night with the baby last night, so I didn't get the intro done on time. And
it worked out well because I wound up taking an unintentional nap, and
I just love it when it's not my fault. Makes me feel so much better about myself when whatever I've done doesn't actually end up being a problem.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this again next week.
All right, buddy.
Love you.
Love you.
The weight of the apology is stretched us into nothing, spread thin across the cracks, so repair will never last. But love is held together using duct tape and rubber bands. As far as I can see, almost everybody bleeds you, and I'm no exception. All I dare to say is just something in a way, but change your heart, I desperately pray. Glue and string, cut it down to all its size, mold it like origami with needle and thread. Stitching the patches again. Glue and string, cut it down to all its size, mold it like origami with needle and thread. Stitching the patches again and 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 again.
All the slammin' shorties in the house say, yeah.
And we're good.
Okay. You needed the silence.
I needed the silence.
Okay.
Because like I can cap out stuff before I get on with you, but it's your noise plus my noise that I have to grab at the same time.
Okay. Well,
hey.
Good show.
Yeah, hey, someone in the chat room says I have moist ears. I didn't know you could even see my ears.
I suspect that means something.
Jacob Bear
You might want to do a Google search on moist ears.
Moist ears. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it live. Moist ears. How to care for moist ears. The Hearing Journal. Ear discharge. Endlessly itchy wet ears.
How about Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go straight to Urban Dictionary.
Wet behind the ears. Maybe. I suppose.
Is he calling me a rookie?
Yeah.
So I'm not a rookie. I'm just
you
bad.
Noob.
Yeah, I'm not a noob. I'm just bad at it. There aren't any definitions.
Yeah, we've been doing this for like a year and a half now. We're just
self-taught and ghetto
wankers.
setup. That's all. No, there aren't any definitions for moist ears. Can you define it? Something someone said to me on my Twitch stream. I'm going to call this episode 65 Black Holes, Son.
Nice. Well, I'm going to go hang out with Chloe for the next 45 minutes before she has to leave.
Nice. I'm not getting to the edits until this evening, but it'll be up tonight. Is that okay with you? I'm going to hit go on the YouTube thing as soon as we're done here. I'm going to send that bitch straight up to the internet.
All right.
Hey,
thank you for doing all that.
Oh, you betcha. It's exactly 2 clicks. Don't even
Cool.
worry. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to learn your side of things.
Well, the Twitch thing is easy. I just hit export and then I hit yes.
Well, to be honest, I don't really care about the Twitch thing, but I'm curious about the rest of it.
Yeah, well, no, it's fun. I did it all in front of you that one time.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention.
No, well, all right.
So, all right, later, buddy.
Love you.